BMW M3 and the M4 in its current generation is a fantastic vehicle, more than capable to satisfy everyone's daily driving needs and occasional track time. However, many owners choose to modify them, and a lot of new owners are actually confused as to where to start. So today I'm going to highlight some of the modifications that you can make to these vehicles, and I'm going to put them in three categories: must-have, sort of nice to have, and more power, which you don't necessarily need, but I'll still highlight them. A lot of these modifications I do have on this vehicle, so you'll be able to see firsthand what they look like, maybe what they sound like, and what to expect when you get them. I think it's absolutely necessary to tint the windows in this car. In my opinion, I didn't go too dark on the sides. I went 35% on the sides and I went 15% on the back window, which darkens the whole interior a little bit, and it still allows some of the light to poke through, and I don't get bothered by police at all, actually, because you can still see who's driving or who's in the passenger seat. And to darken the back window, just so my kids are more comfortable, I installed these BMW OEM sunshades. Coating is an absolute must. As you can see, I am sitting in my car, the ignition is on, and I'm getting no warning chimes. Why? Because I coated them out. I also coated my headlights to give me brighter LED rings. I coated out my active sound, which gave me a more pleasurable drive in the cabin. There are many other things you could coat. I actually made a video, you can check it right above, on how you can easily coat things on and off. Starting in the middle of 2016, BMW introduced Apple CarPlay, and I highly recommend it. Why? Because it completely changes the way you interact with the car. Sending text messages has never been easier. You've got all these apps such as Google Maps, Waze, Pandora, YouTube Music, Spotify. But one of the coolest features is the fact that Siri works. Check this out. Hey Siri, what's today's weather?
It's currently cloudy and 75 degrees in Edison. Expect thunderstorms starting in the morning. Today's high will be 78 degrees, and the low will be 71.
And that's all without pressing any buttons. Of course, you can long press this button here and it's going to do the same thing. But if your phone is set up for Siri that's always listening, it's an amazing feature. You can also ask it to direct you to whatever destination you like, and it's going to take you right there. If you own this vehicle, the chances are you're going to be driving fast. So what you need is a radar detector. Not only a detector, but also an OEM looking mount. So I went with Uniden R3 radar detector, as well as this blend mount, which attaches to the back of the mirror for a very OEM and seamless look and finish. And finally, I hardwired everything into my rear view mirror. Nice and simple. These cars sit pretty high on the original suspension from the factory, so a lot of owners choose to lower their vehicles. I am currently sitting on M Performance lowering springs, and I am extremely happy with this setup. Not only am I able to adjust the height up or down, but it did not change the way different suspension settings feel while I'm driving. So if you are looking for the best lowering suspension, one that will not break the bank, M Performance is the way to go. If you are sticking with OEM wheels, adding spacers gives the car a very aggressive stance. And from my experience, 12 millimeters front and back work very well on 666 competition wheels. On these 437s as well as 513Ms, I am very happy with 15 millimeters all around, although you could still do 18 and 20 in the back for that more of an aggressive poke. And again, keep in mind, if you put spacers on the car, you will kick up a lot of debris on the side of the car, which again is the reason why I have these custom-made mud flaps. If your vehicle is fitted with a sunroof instead of a carbon fiber slick top, what you could do is you could have your roof wrapped in black vinyl. In my case, I went with gloss black, which gives the car a very aggressive look. It matches all the black accents with the car, and it still allows me to enjoy the extra light in the cabin. Now in the US, it is required that all vehicles are to be equipped with orange reflectors in the front, but a lot of owners like to live dangerously and replace them with color-matched pieces, just like I did over here, which gives the car a very seamless appearance. Two things that you need to enhance the sound of your M3 or an M4. a mid-pipe, as well as exhaust tips for added looks. That's all you need. And at the end, to fully enjoy this vehicle, as well as all the mods that I just highlighted, it's important that you sign up for our track day. I'm actually going to make a separate video explaining how easy it is to do so, and having some seat time will give you a new appreciation for the car. It's going to make you a better driver, and it's going to give you an understanding of what this car is really capable of. Even though these vehicles are absolutely beautiful on the outside, there's a way to make them pop even more. And what a lot of owners choose to do is to enhance them with some either carbon fiber bits or black accents. If your car is not a competition pack, your side vents as well as your grills are chrome, so it's nice to replace them with black pieces. Front lip, in my opinion, is a must. This is actually my third front lip. First two were carbon fiber and both cracked. Especially with lower suspension, you're going to be scraping a lot. So my third lip is this lightweight lip that's made out of, I think, polyurethane plastic, but it's extremely durable. I scrape it all the time and it hasn't cracked. So I highly recommend this lightweight front lip. On the side, I've got these carbon fiber side skirts which flow very well with the lines of the front splitter. And then flowing with the side skirts, I've got my carbon fiber diffuser as well as my carbon fiber trunk lip, all of which complete the exterior modification of the car. I lied, carbon fiber mirror caps. I initially had aftermarket mirror caps, but they did not necessarily fit as well. These are OEM and I am very happy with them. And then on the interior, you could enhance the look and feel of your car by adding some Alcantara and carbon fiber bits. In my case, I have this Alcantara armrest, I have this carbon fiber and Alcantara handbrake. I've got this carbon fiber Alcantara shift boot and shifter, and I've got this OEM M Performance V2 Alcantara / leather steering wheel. Moving things inside because of the rain. Anyways, I do not believe these vehicles need extra horsepower. 425 in its base form or 444 competition pack is more than enough, in my opinion, for daily driving as well as occasional track use. But if you are looking for extra horsepower, there are a couple of solutions out there, both software and hardware related, and we're going to start with hardware first. The biggest bang for your buck is a set of downpipes which will give you a lot of extra horsepower. My only gripe with them is many of them out there do not have catalytic converters, which to me is a no-no. I don't want my kids smelling toxic fumes. There are a few manufacturers out there that offer them with catalytic converters, and I highly recommend those instead. And I'm on this side now. Anyways, if you're improving the exhaust side of the engine, you might think that I have to improve the intake side as well, but that's not necessarily the case. The OEM intakes on these cars are more than capable to handle a lot of horsepower. The only reason why I upgraded mine to these Dynon pieces is because I got a crazy deal on them. But what you could do is you could just swap the OEM filters with K&N or something similar, and you'll get a couple of extra ponies and a bit of an extra whistling sound when you step on the gas. If you're chasing extra horsepower, I highly recommend you replace these OEM plastic charge pipes with something that's more durable, such as aluminum pieces. These plastic ones are prone to cracking, especially if you raise the boost a little bit. And if boosting is something that you're after, there are many solutions out there. JB4 or Juicebox 4 is a little piece of hardware, for example, that tricks the computer into boosting more turbo pressure into the engine. It's the most inexpensive option, but it's also the least sophisticated. There are tuners out there that'll give you quality tunes for a fairly decent price. Boot mode is one of them. I am actually running a boot mode map in my car on a CS tune, so BMW OEM CS tune, which gave me I think 20 extra horsepower. I am afraid to push extra horsepower, but you can get off-the-shelf maps that'll up your horsepower by even 100. And for $600 or so, it's a no-brainer. What I would worry about is, as I'm increasing the horsepower in these engines, the weakest part is obviously the crank hub I mentioned in my previous video. So keep that in mind. If you are adding a lot of extra horsepower into these cars, the weakest point is a crank hub, something that can completely blow up your engine. So I hope this video was somewhat helpful in helping you decide which modifications are right for your M3 or M4. It's also important to know that you do not need to modify this vehicle to make it feel special. Even in its original form, it feels every bit special. But once you make your unique modifications, you'll be that guy or girl who parks their car, walks away, obviously looks back, and this time takes a picture every time you park this car. And on that note, thank you very much for watching. Give me that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye. So today I'm going to break them down into 3 categories. Nice have, sitting in my car. There's an option that you springs, the first where just not springs on these cars. 2 things that are a must. 2 things that are an absolute must.